Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks and Gaiety Titan. We're on LMN in the Comet in another game on the search for excellence in the Comet for the third mark of excellence. However, I'm not having a lot of success to report so far on the search for the third mark of excellence. It is a case of forward and advance and retreat. I hit around the bottom end of the 89% damage standing, and then I'm back down to 86%. In the couple of sessions that I've had since this game, I've come to the conclusion that I need to fire more gold, more premium ammo. I didn't do it with this particular match, but I started doing it with subsequent games. And what I started to notice was that a lot of my hits were not penetrating. Up to 50% of my hits. Between 75 and 50% of my hits, depending on the tier. So if I was top tier, maybe 75% of my hits were getting through. They were penetrating, whereas if I was bottom tier, as low as 50% or maybe even lower, then 50% of my hits were actually penetrating. So I thought to myself, this is not good enough, this is something I can't really afford, because the problem with your chasing a mark of excellence isn't your good games, it's your bad games. You need to reach a certain minimum standard, and in my case the minimum standard is around 1500 points of damage. If I get less than 1500 points of damage, my damage standing starts to go down. So I need to get at least that much damage, so I can't afford shots to be striking the target and not going through, not penetrating, not actually giving me some kind of damage result. Or at the very least, say, tracking a target. So I've no problem if I get a tracking damage, as long as, of course, people take advantage of the tracking damage and actually shoot them. Because assistant damage is pretty much as good. Assisted damage either from spotting or tracking is pretty much as good as regular damage for the purposes of a mark of excellence at any rate. So therefore I need to convert more of my hits into actual penetrating shots, so up the amount of gold ammunition. It means then that I'll be running the tank at a loss on average, or in most games, rather than running it at profit most games that I do at the moment, that I used to be doing. But when you chase something like Marks of Excellence, you're kind of working at the edge of your limits of your ability, or at least I am. There's a lot of people out there that, well, I suppose there isn't a huge amount. Obviously, by definition, the really, really good players are a small amount of the total player base, but there's a lot of people who will the people who 3-mark every tank probably don't need to take the kind of measures that I'm taking. But definitely I would say at trying to get the third mark of excellence on a Comet is me working right on the margin of my ability, or possibly slightly beyond the margin of my ability. It's also where things like crew skills and stuff like that make a difference. I mean, I've been looking at this tank since I've been playing it so much. I've been getting the opportunity to observe its characteristics, and one of the things that I've noticed is when the tank is moving, while there is a respectable distance between the view range limit and the circle of detection, when the tank is actually stationary, that difference is almost twice as big. So I am training at the moment silent driving in this tank. I'm up to 70% I think on silent driving, and that when I am 100% on silent driving, I would be getting the benefit of stationary camouflage even when the tank is moving, and that would be a huge difference to this tank, because it could mean that I could move into positions and fire and be outside the view range, or the detection range, I would say, of the tanks, particularly firing at heavy tanks and stuff like that wouldn't have great view ranges in the first place. I'd be able to fire basically from stealth, just using distance, and sometimes that's something I need to make more use of, particularly on maps like LMN, which are quite large. I need to take advantage of the ability to fire from stealth more than I have been doing in this tank. So these are things that I can do that are not, so we say, beyond the limits of my ability. So this is actually a good position down here to engage tanks in the cap circle or around that area. So we have the SU-152, we need to track him. because I don't want to get into cover and I don't want him to point the gun in my direction because I am spotted. I would say the next thing I'll probably go for after the silent driving perk will be the muffled shot, because that will also improve the ability to fire from stealth. Now we have an 88 in the open, and here you see exactly what I'm talking about there. There's a couple of shots now that I'm going to put in one after the other, all in the same spot, none of them penetrate. And even, yeah, that one like fell short into the tracks, and that one penetrated. But I'm running out of regular ammunition as well, so I'm into the premium ammunition. It's all premium from here on out. One of the things in this game too, as I noticed, is I was probably not quite run out of ammunition. I didn't actually run out of ammunition, but I was pretty close to running out of ammunition, and I wasn't sure that even if I had succeeded, as you would say, at the end of the game, that I would have had enough ammunition to actually... Now those A44 shots are straight misses. They're just... the distance is very great. And the A44 is not giving me a lot of target to shoot at. Because there are only... Now, this is much better because he's out in the open. And he has no place to go and hide. He's just relying on the armor if he's tank. Okay, I bounced that one very clearly off the turret. Turret's quite strong, but the lower hull, or parts of the hull aren't. Especially that elevated engine deck, if you can shoot into it. Very good chance of fire as well. But he's no real chance here. We'll bounce off the lower front plate, I think. But or else have to join the two. And we have another one in. And that finished him off. So that's another tank down, and we have actually got a good score in this result. That's his buddy, the Wolverine, is now threatening our cap circle. We have two tanks in the cap circle, and to be honest with you, they'd have been better off if they did not bother at this point in time. And we're more inclined to leave the cap circle just to take advantage of cover, so that this guy wouldn't kill them. He's taken a very solid hit. He hasn't got many hit points left, but he is still in the game, and he's taken out the last of our tanks. So I'm on my own against 4 enemy tanks, and with a fairly limited ammo supply as well. Now I missed that one. That one bounced, which I was kind of surprised. I know Wolverines are pretty tough, but I didn't think they were that tough, and I've been spotted by KV-1, and I don't want to turn around and engage peekaboo with a KV-1 when he's ready for me and looking in my direction. He's hull down all of the turret. I think I'd be able to put rounds through the turret comfortably enough, but while I'd be aiming to shoot for those rounds, he would be able to do the same thing to me. I was hoping I'd come around him there, that he would have advanced further forward and I'd get side shots into him that'd be far more reliable. And I thought, coming out of this end, that I would go for the artillery, because one of the problems that I would have sniping at the two tanks is that sniping at two tanks is all very well, but if I'm spotted while doing it in the artillery, I'll have a field day. Whereas firing on the move, this place doesn't really have the kind of cover where I can get in, get around, circle the tank and get out again. Come down over the top, the artillery's trying to make a run for it. He changed his mind, it goes about turning, but it's too late. We are going to get him, and he is gone. So there's now the 2 remaining tanks left, and I have 17 rounds of ammo in total. I think that KV-1's full health, although it's tier 5, it's lower by a good bit. It's what, 500-600 points of damage or something like that. I don't know what the health of the Churchill is. The Churchill's potentially, what, about 750 or something? 850? It's a pretty strong tank, like, and you're going to bounce some shots off of them as well. It's kind of inevitable, even with premium ammunition. So I might not actually have enough ammo. I was beginning to worry about it. Now we track the Churchill, or we damage the tracks anyway, put a round into him. Managed to put a successful round into him, and I did wonder afterwards if I should have stopped for a second shot. Probably have taken a hit to do it, but it might have been worth it. Now I make another error here, and it was a completely unforced error on my part. But it was a very serious error in that I come around tight onto the cap circle because I was expecting the KV-1 on the cap circle. And what I should have done was I should have swung deep south and come up into the cap circle from the eastern side of the map, where I'd have a clear view of the cap circle and I could engage at the limit of my view range with the enemy tanks, and I'd be outside their view range because they're heavy tanks. Like, I'm not spotted here and I won't be until I fire, but I'm in the open. So I'm spotted now and I'm in the open, and I was hoping for a turret shot there with the KV-1, and I just can't afford to wait out here. I have to go behind the rock. I do get tracked and I take a lot of damage doing it, but I'm kind of doomed here now because I'm too close. If I pull out from the side, they'll see me. So what I'm trying to do is back off so they don't see me, and I was getting away with it until the Churchill spotted me. KV-1, I would have gotten away with it, I think, with the KV-1. But the Churchill has a much better view range than the KV-1. The Churchill spotted me when I got too far. I think if I had actually driven out, turned my back to the enemy, it wouldn't have made much difference. I'd have taken the hit anyway, but I might have been far enough away that I might have gotten away with the one hit. Whereas when I had to go back into the rock to lose the spot, they came after me, which is good going, because I'd say 8 out of 10 players will try and accumulate the cap points, and they won't come out of the cap circle after you. But these guys did. They did the right thing. They stuck together. They coordinated well, and they took me out. I need to get better. First class mastery, high caliber, 5 kills, 3,000 damage, over 3,000 damage when you include the spotting damage, and number 1 by experience. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please press like, comment, share. It really helps the channel out. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.